Thanks for taking the time to join me on my channel, Niges View on Things. How you doing? How you keeping? Hope everybody's safe and sound where you are. Just going to keep this short and sweet. I've come across something that I think you may be quite interested in. In this video on the 16th of March, this goes much deeper than we understand. I was showing the shelves of my supermarket empty as per town, city, country, all over the world. It is just absolute chaos. This is why the governments of the world will tell us absolutely nothing, by the way. If there was a major event coming, they're not going to even, it's not happening. For me, the figures don't really make any sense if you're talking about the CV. They've locked the world down like there's a bigger agenda, and that's what I'm looking at. And I put that question out, and as of making this video, 2,398 views, 289 likes, and 208 comments. Thank you very much for each and every one of you writing a comment and watching my videos, by the way. Really appreciated. But I think that the general consensus is there is something more behind what we're looking at than what there is. Over in France, 100,000 troops on the ground. Over in America, troops are going on the ground. So if something was actually going on, I would expect to see troops on the ground in the UK. And here's a tweet that I come across. You can take this as a pinch of salt if you like. I think we've got to forgive the bad English as it's on Twitter. Saw this motorway, UK lockdown by the weekend. Army will be patrolling. This is something that the government is hiding from us. You might think that I'm joking, but wait and watch. So basically what we're looking at is a motorway, as the man has stated, and we're looking at army vehicles being moved down the road at night. Maybe a thing that you would do, move heavy machinery, less traffic. But in the midst of the CV, it is quite interesting to say the least. Or really what we could do is look at some old stories but very relevant to this conversation. Back 2009, all those caskets over in America which belong to the American government. I'm sure they're there just for feeding cattle, nothing else, but they just happen to be caskets with lids. And I'm sure there's a very good reason for that. Or maybe the story of the Department of Homeland and Security buying 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition, hollow point ones at that. Are you expecting a subtle increase in bank robberies for the next 6,000 years? Or maybe the story coming out about the American soldiers doing urban combat in towns and cities, and we've seen this with the helicopters. They're prepping for something. Are they expecting a bit of civil unrest? Or maybe the statement that the DHS made to each and every American should be prepped for the next 6 to 12 months. And I think that statement should actually include the rest of the world. You should be paying attention to what they're saying. They're telling us that there's an event actually going to occur, but they're not actually telling us what it's going to be. Or maybe it's to do with that lights out scenario that we keep on being told, that there is going to be a quarantine event, and that's going to happen worldwide, not just in one place. Something's going to make that happen. It's going to be an EMP, it's going to be whatever it might be. They're telling us that's happening. And a story that really goes along with that, the American government is actually buying every single Gen 3 night vision scope that they can get their hands on. There is a big shortage across the world because of this event. And really, we should be paying attention to those stories very carefully, because they're actually telling us that there is something going on, there is something going to happen, but they're not going to actually tell us anything at all because of the panic just about flu. Well, toilet paper most probably. Business Insider, Bill Gates is leaving the board of Microsoft and Berkshire. You can look at this story, take it with a pinch of salt, because in today's society with the CV, what is going on? Many CEOs are leaving and they just don't really want to be tarnished with what's going on. I'm sure they want to leave at the top of their league. Several notable executives have stepped down or announced they are stepping down in 2020. In fact, January 2020 set a record for the most CEO departures in the United States in 1 month. It's 219 in all. When I see other people starting to leave, Elon Musk or maybe Mark Zuckerberg. But really, would they resign? That would definitely cause a little bit of panic. But 219, and we're now in March. What is the grand total? Do they actually know something that we don't? I'm just saying. So let's get on with this last story, something that I can't confirm, but this is what my channel is all about, showing you things that are strange on cameras, camera abnormalities, broken cameras, smudge marks, fingerprints, lens flares, broken cameras all over the world. Yeah, if you believe that, I've got some powdered water for sale and some toilet roll. Any rate, let me show you this story. Let's not actually talk about it no more. The timing of this article I find quite fascinating. Right in the middle of the CV, the world's going into lockdown. This article is in Italian, and anybody that can read Italian knows exactly what we're looking at there. For me, I need to hit this translate button, and all of a sudden, we get to see what it says. Brazilian astronomer declares a celestial body entered the solar system is monitored by space telescopes. I'll leave the links to everything I'm talking about in the description box down below. Like I've already said, what a wonderful looking picture. According to the statements of the Brazilian sky observer Tio Abdomon, I'm sure that's not how you pronounce his name, I'll just call you Tio from now on, a celestial body has arrived in the solar system and is monitored by space telescopes, terrestrial telescopes all over the world. The unknown object is currently located near the planets Jupiter and Saturn and appears to be accelerating in speed. Now, if you've been watching the weather, been watching that spraying in the sky, we know that there's something going on. If you've been watching the earthquakes, the volcanoes and the rest of it, you know there is something definitely not quite right. Just here we can see a wonderful diagram of Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter and the Kuiper Belt. Now, if this object is coming this direction through the Kuiper Belt, we are going to get to see one or two fireballs, and we're definitely getting to see one or two of those coming our direction. I think you can agree. Coincidence or not, but last week a strange sky phenomenon was captured in Trenton, New Jersey by Alonzo Ent, who was able to capture a sort of celestial object close to the sun, often called the second sun. How many pictures and videos have you seen of that? Alonzo, who is an experienced cameraman, said it was moving very fast. Although it was very difficult to focus, I was able to record it for a few minutes and lasted for about 5 minutes, then went away. Although Tio talks about the infamous planet NIBIRU, we may wonder if it could be a giant alien mothership, the one recorded on the Soho heliospheric spacecraft. The question arises to the astronomer Tio, could it be that what is happening now on Earth is the direct connection with the presence of this unidentified space object? We'll just have to wait for further developments of the movement of this space object, which is large in size and is approaching Earth. So is there actually any truth to this story? Now, if we look around at Mother Nature, she is shouting, she is screaming, there is a lot going on. The poles are starting to flip, the volcanoes are becoming more intense, the earthquakes are becoming more intense, the tides are going out beyond places we've never seen before. We're watching birds drop out the sky, whales wash up on the beaches, and much more. We're being told by our scientists that the major one is coming, whatever that may be, but it all seems to be happening at the same time. Over the past number of years, our skies have changed into an alien sky. So you decide what you're looking at. I can see that there's something majorly wrong going on, something coming, something not quite right, and it just happens to be, well, how convenient that the world is now in lockdown. At any rate, I wouldn't be scared, I'd just be prepared. Are people going to get hurt? Possibly not. We don't actually know the outcome of what's going to happen. This might go past and we might just need a plaster, you know. but we don't actually know. So let's enjoy what we've got while we've got it. Let's make the most of each other while we're there. Today is today, tomorrow is tomorrow. Let's deal with that as it comes, because there's nothing we can do about it. We just know that there's something not quite right. Well, most people do. Most people are starting to pay attention, but there's a lot of people out there that are starting to question. Anyway, that's all I've got for you now. Much love, much peace, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.